Are you mesmerized by these iconic train posters too? The colors, the landscapes, the elegance, they feel almost timeless, like a promise of somewhere better, somewhere distant. But these posters are more than just beautiful images. They're part of a much deeper story, one about technology, money, ambition, and how an entire world was taught to travel. In this video, we'll explore where train posters came from, why they were created, how they evolved into powerful visual tools, and how they ultimately shaped the way we think about travel today. Before the 1800s, most people didn't really travel. Not for pleasure, at least. It was slow, expensive, and largely reserved for the wealthy. Then, in the 19th century, everything changes. With the invention of steam locomotives in the 1820s, railways quickly become some of the most ambitious projects ever built. Investors pour huge amounts of money into them, convinced they are the future. By the 1840s, during the railway mania, even ordinary people begin investing their savings, hoping to be part of this transformation. Governments step in too, supporting expansion through funding, land grants, and direct investment. And suddenly, entire landscapes begin to change. Tracks stretch across countries. Stations rise in growing cities. A new system takes shape. At first, railways carry goods and business travelers. That part is easy, but it's not enough, because everything now depends on constant movement. Tracks, trains, stations, workers. This system only works if it's being used, and an empty train isn't just quiet, it's unprofitable. So the question begins to shift. Not, how do we build more railways, but how do we get people to travel when they don't need to? And that question is exactly where the posters come in. In the early 1800s, the railway advertising doesn't look anything like what we imagine today. They were called broadsides, large sheets of paper filled mostly with text. They listed departure times, ticket prices, and routes. They weren't trying to inspire anyone. They were trying to explain something completely new. At that time, railways themselves were unfamiliar. People needed to understand how they worked, when to arrive, where to go, what to expect. So these early posters were practical, almost instructional. Travel wasn't a dream yet. It was a system people were learning to use. As railway networks expanded by the mid-1800s, there were more routes, more companies, more competition, and their advertising started to reflect that change. Text became larger, layouts became more decorative, small illustrations began to appear. As we approach the end of the 1800s, printing technology begins to improve, especially with the rise of color lithography. And suddenly, posters can do something entirely new. They weren't just responding to demand anymore. With bright colors, strong compositions, emotional imagery, they were creating it. If you look closely, these posters follow certain patterns. Railway companies began offering excursion trips, seaside visits, leisure journeys. But more importantly, the message changed. Instead of saying, "Here is a train," they began saying, "Here is where you could go." And in doing that, the train itself starts to disappear. Instead of engines and tracks, you see beaches, mountains, cities, people enjoying themselves. Railway companies begin promoting entire regions, not just routes. And then there are luxury trains where everything looks elegant and composed. These posters don't just show travel, they show status. And this is the moment where tourism, as we understand it today, really begins to take shape. Across all of these, one thing is consistent. The posters are not really selling transportation. They are selling a version of life. They are selling transformation. At the same time, these posters reflect broader changes in art and design. In the late 1800s, they become more decorative, shaped by the influence of Art Nouveau, with flowing lines, detailed compositions, and a sense of elegance. But by the 1920s and 30s, the style shifts. Influenced by Art Deco and early modernism, posters become more structured. Shapes are clearer, colors are bolder, and everything feels more confident, more modern, almost in sync with the speed and precision of the trains themselves. This is what we now call the golden age of train posters. Posters are no longer just advertisements. They become powerful visual experiences. But this moment doesn't last. By the mid-20th century, things begin to change. Cars and airplanes offer new ways to travel, giving people more freedom and speed. photography starts to replace illustration and advertising. And as many railway systems become state-run, the intense competition that once drove these posters begins to fade. And with that, the golden age quietly comes to an end. If antique documents and ephemera interest you, you can find hundreds of vintage illustrations and journal kits in my Etsy shop. The link is in the description. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing for more stories like this. See you in the next video.